Hi everybody, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Ajit Ninan from Dolby, who's going to give us a presentation on the next generation video experience. Over to you.
All right, so I'll just jump right into the presentation since I've got a ton of information to present. And so I'm going to be talking about next generation video experiences and where the world is going for in terms of video and how those experiences are going to look like. And we start off with kind of the evolution of storytelling, right? So the first storytellers were sitting around a campfire and describing a scene that they saw to a group of people sitting around the campfire, right? So soon, right after that, they were able to capture images. Well, it took a few hundred years, but but we were able to get cameras and we were showing black and white pictures to the crowd. So now all of a sudden, it went from word to picture. And those pictures needed sound, so we added sound to that. And we had mono sound, and then that went to color. And then soon we had stereo sound, and we added more speakers and made surround sound. Of course, Dolby has its surround sound technology that we like to boast. And then, of course, the picture got better and went to 4K, and we added Dolby Atmos to it to make you more immersed into that story. And then 8 years of my life making HDR is basically those little sparkles on that picture. So 8 years can be summarized by little sparkles on those pictures. So that's basically where we are in storytelling. And of course, you guys have seen that the director is trying to get you more and more immersed through all of this. And VR has become a medium. And so people are capturing images in 360 and presenting that, which allows people to be in that environment. Now, this hasn't taken off as much as it should, but it's slowly catching on. But a lot of the new storytelling is going to start moving into these immersive experiences. So in order to describe where video is going and where we need to be keeping an eye on in the technology considerations, we need to first look at what existing video looks like. So the existing, the axes of image quality is based on three things: resolution, color gamut, and frame rate. Through the years, we've had things go from SD to HD in terms of resolution to 4K. And then we had black and white to Rec 709 to P3. These are color gamuts. Most of you should know this. And then, of course, the frame rate started off at 15 frames, 24 frames, 30, and then we're up to 60 and 120 and 240 in some cases for gaming stuff, right? For a short period of time, we had stereo. And then what I said over there is fixed, means that you're projecting a fixed set of two images to the eyes, and it didn't really change. And so that kind of made people not have a great experience, and I'll explain more. But soon we added dynamic range, which Dolby did, and that's been a lot of my last few years of my existence has been dedicated to this dynamic range problem. And of course, we went to 8K now, and we want to get people to 4,000 nits and brighter because we think that that's significantly better image quality. And then, of course, laser primaries, which is Rec 2020, so super saturated colors. And like I said, the frame rates went higher as well. So we like to summarize these axes as more pixels, faster pixels, and our favorite, better pixels, right? And it always defined image quality this way. So now there's the next generation video, and I was talking to you about VR, and there's going to be augmented reality, and there's going to be light field displays, and all these different technologies coming out. So I summarized the next set of axes as Ninan's 9. My last name's Ninan, and there are 9 of these, so I figured people will remember this best if I call it Ninan's 9. So the first one is improved field of view, so you're more immersed. Just like in audio, we have speakers all around you. We want pictures all around you as well. Next is the latency. So if you improve latency, a lot of these devices are going to be head-worn, so latency starts to play a role in specific types of experiences. So, and I'll get into what these are. And then, of course, stereo, like I said, which is how you see 3D images, and then the degrees of freedom, which I'll get into a little bit, in accommodation vergence. I'll explain it here in a second, but these are basically the 9 is 9, basically. But in this, we've always been talking about image quality. We haven't talked about something that's critical when these new things come into play and more immersive video experiences happen. It's image comfort, right? So there's a minimum bar of these that need to be accomplished in order for there to be image comfort. And it's critical for us to accomplish these before we make people start throwing up. And in a second, I'll explain. So let's talk about latency and frame rate, since they're kind of tied together. So if you have a really low latency and you have a headset on and you turn your head and